Hey, what's up, family? We're alive. Happy, what to say, Tuesday. Happy Taco Tuesday. Whatever Tuesday is for you. Tenacity Tuesday, I used to call it as well. Welcome back to another great day of Greatness University. Thank you for tuning in live. If you're live, throw it in the chat box. Say what's up. Good morning, good afternoon. If you are watching on replay, message me or comment hashtag replay. Would love to hear from you. Please always provide feedback on these. I'm trying it outside, so hopefully microphone is picking up correctly. I will be getting a better microphone and a better setup soon, but I wanted to try to enjoy a little bit of the. It is becoming prime time in Florida, which means it's about 70 and sunny for the next 6 months. So hopefully, fingers crossed, right? I know we'll probably have spells of 80, 90. That's just how Florida is, but I want to try to enjoy it, get some beautiful air, and enjoy it with you guys as well. So today, actually, I'm blowing through this book called Rocket Fuel. And what I'm going to talk about here, I'm going to keep it pretty short, but this is something that is really important to understand who you are and the role that you play, because there's only two types here. There's only two figures, only two roles that I'm going to talk about. And this actually plays a significant role, I think, not just in business or entrepreneurship, but also in your relationships, your friendships, your partnerships, whatever that is. I think it can very much apply across the board. So there's this book called Rocket Fuel by Mark C. Winters. It's not a new book. It's probably 2014, 2015 book, but I love it. And my newest partner, my newest partner in business, that's a real estate investor. His name's Ryan, and Ryan told me, he said, "Hey man, you really got to read this book called Rocket Fuel, because I see you so much as a visionary, but I feel like you could also, play some important roles in helping build companies from the integrative role as well." So I really didn't know about this. I've always, heard about visionaries and the word visionary. I think even the most important role to point out here is the integrator, which is really the backbone of relationships, partnerships, and businesses and companies. So I'll go over both briefly, because I've always considered myself as like a visionary. Even since I was a kid, I was just weird talking about how big and great my life was going to be, even though it was not big or great, and still isn't that big or incredible yet, but always is going to be, because I'm always growing and grinding every single day. But I think it's important to first understand the visionary, because the visionary is usually the people that you actually hear about. The visionary is Steve Jobs. The visionary is Ray Kroc of McDonald's. The visionary is let's see, Bill Gates. And all these visionaries also played important roles of, like, not just being a visionary, especially in the beginning when they had to play other roles, but that's where they're most in tune. The visionary is a person that can see the bigger picture, can see ahead, but oftentimes doesn't know all the other actual action steps. So for me, I'm a big visionary. I have a huge vision for my life. Every day I'm talking big. I'm going to be a billionaire. I'm going to have 7 companies, 10 companies. I'm going to have, 1,000 employees. I'm going to do all this big, great stuff. But then when it comes down to the actual action steps, like day to day, can be challenging for me, struggling to actually stay on task and take it step by step and actually keep up with the speed of real life and the day-to-day speed versus the speed of vision, which the speed of vision is can be light speed for me. Like, I'm 10 years ahead of where my actual action steps are. So we have to trade. A visionary paints this big vision for the company, for the organization. This could be a vision for your family. This could be a vision for your company. This could be a vision for your church. This could be a vision for your nonprofit. This could be a vision for your salsa club, whatever. But the visionary paints this big vision of what they want, what they see in the future. And then there has to be either the visionary, if they're, riding solo, they have to trace those steps back and integrate those steps effectively for their team, for their organization, whatever that is. So that's the challenging part. But I'll go over some common roles of a visionary from the business entrepreneur perspective, because this is where I see where I am, but I definitely want to improve on things on the back end so that I can improve and actually get closer to my vision, to get more focused rather than just being foo-foo in the air. Because vision without execution is essentially just hallucination. I'm a hallucinator without hallucinogens, but I have definitely experienced that a lot the past couple of years of having this huge vision and being a visionary, but lacking the execution piece, which essentially is just hallucination at the end of the day. So you have to have both, but you don't have to play both all the time. And that's what I'm getting to. So the common roles of a visionary is the entrepreneurial spark plug. like the person that's on fire and just has that burning desire, the inspirer, the passion provider, the developer of new ideas, big ideas, breakthrough ideas, the big problem solver, the engager and maintainer of big external relationships, the closer of the big deals, the big important deals to move the needle forward, the learner, the researcher, and the biggest discoverer, the company vision creator and company champion. I love those. I relate to them so much. The common traits of the founding entrepreneur, and then I'm gonna show you why it's great to be a visionary, but also why I've struggled, because I've tried to be the visionary and the integrator and everything else, but I'm looking for those more strategic partners that can actually take more of the action steps to put it into place, and that would be my integrator that I'm looking for over the next year, 5 years, however long it takes. Common traits of the visionary, the founding entrepreneur: have lots of ideas creation, idea growth, strategic thinkers, always see the big picture, having a pulse on the industry and target market, research and develop new products and services, manage big external relationships. For example, the customers, the vendors, the industry, the facts, the figures. Manage big external relationships, get involved with customers and employees when the visionary is needed. Inspire people who are creative problem solvers, the big problems, create the company vision and protect it, sell and close the big deals that are really going to jumpstart the company, connect the dots, on occasion do the work, do the inside work, and provide the service and make the product when necessary. But the challenges, this is what I'm getting to. This is challenges I've faced a lot of these: inconsistency, organizational whiplash, the head turn. So you're moving this way, then you're moving this way, and your organization, your employees, your other people behind you, your support system can't keep up with how fast the visionary is changing directions, which I've more so experienced. I just thought that people don't understand me, aren't as fast as me, people don't get it, and people can get it. It's just that the action steps and the execution take a little longer than it is to pitch and the vision and cast it. Inconsistency, organizational whiplash, dysfunctional team members, a lack of openness and honesty, lack of clear direction and understanding that and communicating it, because my vision in my head is so crystal clear, and I can sit here and I can think about it for 5-10 minutes and I can cry. I can bring myself to tears because I'm so clear in my mind about the vision and where I'm going, what I'm doing, and building companies and building people and building leaders. But that's oftentimes not very clearly communicated to others. So that's where I need somebody that can communicate it more effectively, kind of not dumb it down, but just make it more clear and more elementary so that others can understand it in my organization, in my companies, as my employees, as my mentees, whatever that is. More challenges: reluctance to let go, reluctance of a visionary, reluctance to let go of the control. I'm a control freak. I want to control everything. But for me to, build companies properly and lead people properly, I have to let go of control and give others some of the reins while I take care of the big picture vision stuff. A genius with 1,000 helpers. Yeah, sometimes visionaries, and I've experienced this, I'm like, people just can't get with me. They just can't keep up. So I just feel like a genius with these big grand ideas with just a bunch of people to help me get there. Rather than should be building those people, developing those people, and helping them understand the vision and reaching down to them. Eyes, appetite bigger than stomach. Sometimes my eyes and my short-term dreams and aspirations, like my goals, are just astronomical compared to the actual timeline of action steps and execution. Experiencing resistance to following standardized processes, yet can easily get bored. Yes, that happens sometimes. No patience for the details. I am becoming more detail-oriented. That's been a big thing for me this year, to become more detail-oriented. No patience for the details, like I said. Amplification of complexity and chaos. ADD, typical. Not always. It's possible I'm ADD, but I'm not going to self-prescribe or whatever. All foot on the gas pedal with no brake. All gas, no brake is certainly me. If you know me, I'm all gas, no brake kind of guy. Drive is too hard for most people, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like sometimes my drive, like, people don't get it. No one drives as hard as me. No one wants to go as fast as me, and that's partially true, but also partially true is that it's not realistic. It's not really the capability is not there sometimes for everybody to keep up with my vision. And that's why I think that people aren't moving as fast as me, because I'm like, let's go faster, let's work harder, let's drive faster. But most of the time, to actually get an organization to move fast, like, our vision in our heads can move really quick, but then actually move an organization and put in the action steps and implement the systems necessary, that takes time. Okay, so I want to talk about the integrator role, because this is really important. The integrator is somebody who plays these roles, like building out communication, resolution, focus, and accountability, team unity, managing projects and managing them well, following through on things. So there's an idea pitched by the the visionary, there's the plan, and then the integrator is actually one who follows through and gets things to complete. An integrator is responsible for the tiebreakers that keep things moving forward, right? Like, so should we do this or should we do this? Making that decision and moving things forward. No obstacles or barriers. So an integrator makes sure to be aware of those obstacles or barriers to get to the visionaries, to accomplish the visionaries' goals and aspirations. Prioritization, what's actually important, what's actually going to move the needle forward today, rather than just talking big foo-foo, we actually get down to the priorities. Execution, so actually executing on behalf of the organization and the visionary, actually getting things done, executing them. Steady force, cadence, and consistency, actually setting a pace for the organization, setting a pace for the company, setting a pace for the sales and marketing team. The glue, the integrator is really the glue that's holding everything together. In the long term, for my own companies that I'm going to build, I'm looking for an integrator, that the person that, can say no, the person that can glue and hold things together and keep the systems together and the internal communications. And consistent beating of the drum, row your boat, like actually rowing it and not just seeing the end vision, getting those little things down. More roles of the integrator. I mean, the integrator is the biggest role, the biggest, most important role. The integrator is responsible for P&L results, the business plan to be executed, right? The visionary has this big business plan. The integrator is actually going to execute on the business plan step by step. Harmoniously integrated, the leadership team. So the integrator is responsible for, the sun's moving over here. The integrator is responsible for the leadership team and harmoniously integrating them. Leadership and management and accountability. That's short for LMA in business. Leadership, management, and accountability for the leadership team. The company operating system being followed by all. Okay, so actually the operations, the day-to-day operations being followed and the systems being put in place. The integrator helps all the arrows be pointed in the same direction, and the visionary ideas being actually harnessing the visionary's ideas. You can say this as the visionary Prozac. The visionary Prozac is the integrator, and day-to-day tasks making sure they run smoothly. There's a lot. There's also common traits of the integrator. Common traits of the integrator: personally accountable, adept at self-management, decisive, good at planning and organizing, strong leader and manager, effective conflict manager, a catalyst for the team, goal achiever, conceptual thinker, employee developer, employee coach, resilient, adaptable, able to understand and evaluate others, forward thinking. The integrator is behind the vision, but not so big they can't see what's in front of us this week, this month, this year. Common challenges of the integrator, though. So the integrator is the person who might not get all the credit. Okay, so Steve Jobs, Apple would not be today what it is today without what's Steve Jobs' guy's name? I'm literally forgetting. Maybe is it Steve Watson? I'm hitting my mic. But let's say at McDonald's, Ray Kroc has a partner named Fred Turner. Fred Turner is the reason why McDonald's is McDonald's today, like such, big and branded all over the world, is not because of Ray Kroc, the famous guy for it, but his partner and integrator, Fred Turner. The same with Henry Ford. Ford, I think it was Joe Pearl. I think Joe Pearl. No. I have it here. James Cousins. Ford wouldn't be Ford today without James Cousins. Have you ever heard of James Cousins? I hadn't either before. James Cousins is the integrator, the person that implemented the systems and made them happen after Henry Ford pitched the vision for the Ford company. So there's a million examples, but some of the challenges the integrator faces, they don't get all the recognition, right? They don't get all the news articles. Steve Jobs is integrator guy behind the scenes making everything happen. So like it might be the executive assistant type, the integrator type, the person that actually puts the pieces together and is responsible for it, but isn't the one, holding the trophy, holding the awards oftentimes, or having the news headline. Can be considered negative. The integrator can be considered negative because they shut things down because they know it doesn't actually make sense to get to the vision and accomplish the goals that have been set. There could be friction and tension between like the employees and the integrator, sometimes the visionary and the integrator, because we want to go this way, we want to go faster. The integrator's like, no, that doesn't make sense. We need to do this. So kind of shutting things down, but for the better of the company and the organization. Being seen the integrator can be seen as the bad guy. Like I said, bearer of bad news. They bring the bad news. They put out the fires necessary to keep things under control, under the hood, and to keep moving things forward through the tough conversations, through the tough times, and having to do the dirty work like firing people. Sometimes firing people and weeding out the negativity, weeding out the pessimists, weeding out the people that might be toxic to your organization, to your company. That also falls back onto the integrator, which is maybe one of the toughest role, but also the most important to move companies and businesses and products and services forward. More common challenges, like I said, is having to say no, learning to say no, and putting your foot down in situations. Being accused of moving too slowly. Like, I, as a visionary, would think that sometimes my integrator and my partner that puts everything into place and makes sure to manage the people right and put the system in place, moving too slowly. Because I'm like, let's go, let's build 7 companies, let's make $1 billion, and they're like, that doesn't just happen by having a big vision and getting excited. Let's actually slow down to speed up, essentially. And setting the bar too high on self, or unrealistic expectations of self. The integrators can be very critical of oneself and the company. So those are just, that's just really scratching the surface of this, but I think it'd be really beneficial for you as a just a person to realize your role, because there's a quiz. So this is the book called Rocket Fuel by Mark C. Winters, but go online to, I think it's rocketfuelnow.com, and there's the assessment. I printed it out and I circled it, so you guys kind of see I took a test to see what I score on as a visionary 94, and then as a integrator I scored as a 50. So I can do some integrator tasks and roles stuff, but obviously my niche, my best area of fulfillment and expertise would be as a visionary. So take that assessment for yourself seriously. If you want to be a better partner, you want to be a better brother, better son, better dad, better mom, better husband, better wife, better leader, better employee, better, moving up in corporate, or being a better doctor. I don't know, whatever it is to you to run your practice, lawyer to run your practice, and navigate, who's the visionary, who's the integrator, and how you guys can team up. Because if there's friction, if there's 2 visionaries or 2 integrators, they can cause conflict and cause confusion. So that's why I want to get clear on this. Even in relationships, who's the visionary in your relationship, in your partnership, for success, and who's the actual ones that's maybe detail oriented, putting the systems in place of, laundry, work schedule. It could be things like that. It seems dumb, and it seems like, maybe not that important of a conversation now, but when you get into the nitty gritty of it, it's really, really good. So if you want to be a better employee, better person overall, better, especially going into business and entrepreneurship, man, there's a lot of things that can go wrong, and you obviously want to avoid those and cut that learning curve. So I think this is a great way to do it and implement it, as I am now, because, being the, I guess, minority partner in companies that I'm in, I can't be the full visionary because I'm not the one with all the money and all the, startup and all the work that those visionaries did up front. So I'm learning to do more integrative work until I can full-time be that visionary, and only be that visionary when I hire out, when I build the companies, when I build and actually hire out teams that can integrate and execute on all the visions, all the big visions and dreams and aspirations that I have. So that's it for today. Here's your little Greatness University live. Enjoy this, play this back, send it to somebody you love, seriously, and check out my banner below. Please subscribe to my newsletter, my LinkedIn newsletter. This is exclusive for LinkedIn. It's kind of like a blog. I'm going to do weekly posts, weekly on LinkedIn, a newsletter, which would be like a highlight of my week, really the highlights of the week, the biggest tips, the biggest tricks, the biggest realizations, the biggest things in hindsight from the previous week and looking forward. So weekly newsletter / blog on LinkedIn, exclusive to LinkedIn. And then my Telegram is also free. These are all free channels. My Telegram is free. It's linked in my Instagram and my LinkedIn bios and in the feature section. Subscribe to my Telegram. It's just 5 to 10 messages every day of positivity, links to podcasts, links to YouTube, where you can find all this stuff abbreviated and really just give you guys the shortcuts from good to great. The shortcut from average to amazing is what I want to provide for the world as much as possible. So share this with someone you love. Share the links with someone you love about Telegram. Share this on YouTube via the YouTube link if that's easier, whatever works best. But love you. God bless you. Have a good day. And let's be great. See you guys.